make this practical. Decide, be deliberate about the information you're getting today. These are resourceful people we drag from their weekend, thinking that they just to help you learn more about business analysis. If I move to the next slide. All right, so just it promises to be all out. We don't want to beat around the bush. So just after this welcome address, we'll hear some trends, get some trends about business analysis. What are the prospects? What does it really mean to be a business analyst? And then we dive into the panel session. Of course, there's something interesting that will be going on before we wrap today. Someone here is going to get an automatic scholarship just for playing games. How interesting can that be? So I will ask you once again to pay attention, because your attention will be tested, throughout this particular journey, right? But then before we start, some ground rules. We encourage you to please stay muted, right? Except there's permission. Maybe the host requested that you unmute to speak, just for coordination, so we don't have a lot of interference from background noises and all. You can keep your cameras on. It's not compulsory, but maybe during your engagement, if you want to ask questions, we encourage, if you can, to turn on your cameras and all that. Please drop your questions in the chat. Trust me, we are looking, we have our resources looking through it. We'll show your questions, will be asked, whatever things you find confusing, amusing, or you want to get clarity on, just drop it on the chat, and we'll do well as much as time permits, to address most of those questions. But when we have to draw the line, we will definitely draw the line so people can have the remainder of their weekends to themselves. But we'll do well to respond to as many questions as possible. So just to be sure, before I roll out this game, if I just need some, confirmation from people that all I'll be doing is not rambling. They can hear me, they can see me. So just drop a chat, say check, or just raise, drop an emoji just in the chat. Let me be sure that I have confirmation that people can hear me. Yeah, I already see some questions. Just one scholarship spot. Come on, happy. Don't be Oliver Twist. Who gets that? Thank you so much, Ijoma. Thank you, Miriam. Oh, you heard and say Babalanki, I like that. Shola, thank you. Joel, thank you. All right, so that means a lot of people are hearing and seeing me. Yeah, I see people raising their hands. Thank you so much. Thank you for those confirmation. Right now, we'll just move to the next agenda because we're on light speed. The next agenda about the scholarship. Remember, I said it's 100% scholarship to the quiz winner. Please pay attention to all that's been spoken about or discussed. The questions might come from those points that were shared here, so that we don't doesn't look as if we are trying to get people to overthink things. So just pay attention. That's all we ask. Learn all you can and then move on. Next slide, please. All right, so now I'm going to hand over to Pascal. He's going to come in, a member of the team, and he will tell us what the business analysis is all about, the trends and the next steps. Once again, welcome and thank you for being here.
All right, thank you so much, Maxwell. Welcome, everyone. Please, if you can hear me, can you just give me a thumbs up or give me a check on the chat if you can hear me and you can see me as well. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. So welcome, everyone. We are expecting a lot of people. So if you have friends who are still planning to join, tell them to join quickly. We will close the door for admissions very soon. We got close to 500 people that registered for this session, and we would only take in the people that show up first. So if you have people that want to join, let them know that they should join early, because very soon we will close the door. So back to Maxwell's point, we are excited to have you. We're excited to see you. We have a great team of panelists that will be speaking to you in a moment, and I don't want to steal into that time. So back to the point, we will be giving one person a full scholarship for our business analysis standard program. So we would advise that you listen very well to what I'm about to say now, and what the panelists will say in a few minutes from now as well. And then towards the end of the session, we will run the quiz, and the person who wins that quiz will join our cohort starting next week, Saturday, which is the 21st of January. Okay, so once again, welcome, and I will go right into some summary and trends, and then we'll go into the panel session, right? So if you have any questions, please throw it in the chat. Don't unmute yourself. Don't try to do that. It will disrupt this session. So if you have any questions, throw it in the chat, and then we'll try and come to the questions, okay? So I believe that most people are here not because they do not know who a business analyst is. They probably know, some do not, but that's perfectly okay. So we'll just level set and make sure that everyone is on the same page on what we are talking about today, right? The essence of this session is to bring in a lot of information from people who work in Canada, in the US, and in the UK as business analysts. Some of them have been in the game for a long time, and they came from very diverse backgrounds. So we have someone who transitioned from accounting and finance to business analysis. We had another person who was a lawyer and became a business analyst. Another person who was a nurse and became a business analyst. And then we, of course, have a chemical engineer who transitioned and became a business analyst. So the whole point of that diversity of the panelists is to remind you that your background should not be a limitation for you to transition into business analysis. Okay, so I would advise that you ask your questions to the panelists as much as you can, just so that you get the type of insights you need to proceed on this journey. Okay, so listen very well. Some of these questions might come in the quiz, and I'm just giving you tips on how to respond to them. Now, who is a business analyst? I'll try and give a very simple definition for who a business analyst is, right? So any person who can assess an organization in terms of how they are performing in order to help them improve their processes and system, irrespective of their title, the person is performing business analysis. Okay, so this is one of those areas where you don't need a title you don't need to be wearing a business analyst title to be performing business analysis activities. So you could have been doing business analysis work in your current role without knowing, right? So this is another reason why we say that to become a business analyst, you could come from any background as long as you can be taught on how to transition that experience into the space. So this is who a business analyst is, right? There has been a lot of noise in the air, and people are saying, are we sure that there is going to be a job for business analysts in the future? Is this a buzz? Why is everyone trying to become a business analyst? Are you sure this is not the whole, crowd mentality? Is this not a head thing? Why is everyone becoming a business analyst today? The truth is, it is not buzz. It is the reality, right? The truth is, companies are continuing to need business analysts even more. So this is a number we got from US Bureau of Labor Statistics that says that there is a trajectory for growth, and we are expecting to see about 25% growth in the need for business analysts by 2030, right? Which is higher than what most other professions are projected to have, on the average of 8%. Okay, so this is how you can actually tell that the quest or the drive or people trying to become business analysts is not a buzz thing. It is actually being predicted that there will be a huge need for business analysts. That is why we're having this session, just to provide more clarity on that. Okay. Now, in case you're wondering, what is driving this, I don't want to use the word drive for everyone trying to become a business analyst. So the reasons are very clear, right? We all saw what happened, a few years ago, 3 years now, when the pandemic struck, and every business was forced to reimagine how they were operating, right? So part of what happened was businesses are beginning to change their current models in terms of how they operate. And because that is happening, they will need experts or people with the skill sets to tell them how they can reposition their products and their offerings and their models so that they can continue to stay relevant. So the pandemic has forced businesses to embrace the need for operating differently, and they will need the support of business analysts for that to happen, right? Since 2022 first quarter, there has been a lot of noise about the fact that there might be recession in 2023. So because of that, I'm sure you heard that companies are laying off, Facebook, Twitter has laid off, Amazon has done the same. So it is moving across many other organizations. Now, companies do not just arrive at a decision to lay off, right? They are provided with advice and guidance on how they can manage their operations and costs before those decisions are made. So you would always have a business analyst in that conversation to help the company make that decision. So you can understand why, because recession is a big conversation now, companies must be properly advised on how to make decisions to stay relevant in the future, right? And of course, digital transformation has become a thing now. So every company is going to cloud, embracing new technologies, trying to transform and position themselves differently in the market. They will always need business analysts on this kind of projects, just so that they can make those transitions properly. A few months ago, last year or the year before, we started hearing about ChatGPT. There are all kinds of new technologies coming on, and companies must continue to know, how do these technologies impact our business, right? What value are they going to drive? And how do we adopt, implement, and drive some of these technologies to make us more efficient? So for them to do that, you will need a business analyst in that whole process, right? They will help you assess your current state, tell you what the future could look like, and then help you develop a roadmap on how you can implement some of these technologies. And then jobs are disappearing as well, right? So accounting clerks and a lot of other professions are becoming a thing of the past, right? I know we still have a few in some countries, but Oyema, I see you laughing. I know you're in that domain. So a lot of these jobs are becoming obsolete. And what is happening with that is, as people move from one area of, disappearing profession into another one, you can imagine that a lot of those decisions are being informed by recommendations that some business analysts have made in the past on how the world is going, what companies should be paying attention to, and what we should be expecting. And then the business environment is becoming really complex over time. We will need skilled professionals to guide in that conversation. Okay, so if you're wondering why there is a crazy rush for business analysts, these are some reasons why that trend will continue for some time. Okay, so why should you become a business analyst? Why is it so important, right? So these are some of the reasons you should really think about. If you are someone who doesn't like working with the same people for a long time, you get too tired, you get too bored, then think about becoming a business analyst. You would work on different projects with new challenges, with new people. So consistently, you will be doing new things, trying new things, and that will also help stretch you and take you out of your comfort zone. And then the other interesting thing about being a business analyst is the fact that when you learn the skills of a business analyst, can do so many other jobs. So you can wear the title of a business analyst, but you can do a lot of other things, which I'll show you in a second, right? And then there's a great prospect for jobs as well. The salaries are not bad either, okay? So you can also transfer your work experience from any industry into becoming a business analyst. You can see, like, these are just a few reasons why you should really think about being a business analyst if you are not very sure about how to proceed yet. Okay, so like I said before, with the skills of a business analyst, these are some of the roles that you can take on. You can be a business analyst, you can be a business consultant, you can be a marketing specialist, you can be a product manager, you can become a requirements manager or engineer, you can be a systems analyst. Like, you can take on so many other roles. So when you are applying for jobs with the skills of a business analyst, you are not only looking for job titles that have business analyst. So any of these titles and a few more are things that you can actually explore as an opportunity and good area for yourself. Okay, so I will talk about what the salaries look like. I know some of these numbers, they are too small for some people and they are too big for some people, right? So this is on the average how much business analysts make in Canada. Some people make as high as over 6 figures, and then others make just slightly less than this. right? But this is on the average how much business analysts make in Canada. As at this data is as of January this year. That was just 2 days ago. Okay. In the UK, this is how much they make in pounds. So about 55,000 pounds is the average salary for business analysts. And in the US, business analysts make an average of $81,000. So if you look at these numbers, they are not cheap. They are not. If you have them in your pocket on an annual basis, I don't think that would be a bad place to start your career. Okay. Some of these roles are you actually get there with experience after you started. So you might not start with these salaries, but this is on the average how much you are likely to make. Some people make as high as 125,000, and others make up to 54,000 as well. Okay, so I'll be wrapping up my session in a moment, and I just wanted to remind you again that we are about to go into the panel session now. I hope you found my entertaining past few slides interesting, and I will come back again later on to talk about how the scholarship works, the rules of the game, and then how you can win the scholarship. But at this moment, I'm going to pass the baton back to Maxwell, who will introduce our hosts, and then the host will come in to talk about what the panel session will look like. So thank you so much for coming. I'm looking forward to being in this conversation with you, and we'll continue to enjoy the rest of the session.
Thank you so much, Pascal. That was great. Thank you so much. Can we just get some reactions, on the charts, emojis, clapping, wherever, as we're about to move to the next one. Yeah, I see a lot of people are really enjoying the meeting platform. A lot of videos are on, people are turning on and off. I think people are just trying to experiment with the functionalities of the section. Please, just to help us, to reduce distraction, except, you are staying put. If a video is on, just try to stay at one spot. Otherwise, you can help us just turn off your videos, because our panelists will be turning on their videos now, right? And we just want them to be spotlight for everyone to see, for better engagement. Thank you so much, Pastor, for that brief keynote. Now, I think you all are inspired and, kind of excited, to learn more about this business analyst thing. So without much ado, I'm going to introduce our host for the panel session. None other than, please, I need some reactions on the group. I'm trying to call someone special that will guide this conversation. The video just come up. Mrs. Okay, she said I shouldn't call her Mrs., but I'm sorry, I've done that already. Mrs. Mitchell Okundo. So I'm going to hand over to her. She's a senior business analyst herself, and with a very, very interesting background story, which I will give her the privilege to share. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome Mitchell Okundo.
Thank you so much, Maxwell. I feel so privileged to be here with everyone here. I'm looking forward to an exciting session. I want to learn from the panelists as well. I have a business analysis background, like Maxwell has said. Before I introduce the panelists, can you please give me the slide that has the panelists and the brief bios? Thank you so much. Not mine, just the panelists. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So we're going to have 3 panelists for this session, and I don't want to spend the time introducing them one by one. I can assure you that these are seasoned people in their spaces. Femi, for one, is a leading senior business analyst in the UK, and she's coming to us today with her wealth of experience. Now, most of the questions are going to be coordinated in the chat, so do not unmute yourself. Your question should be in the chat, and then Maxwell will pick out the questions, and I would coordinate based on Maxwell's guidance. So let's give a warm welcome to Femi. And then the next slide, let's run through the slides and let's see all our panelists. Onyema is a business analyst in Canada. I'm excited to hear Onyema's story. He has an interesting journey too. He has a background in accounting, like Pascal had pointed out earlier. He's well experienced in his space, and we have invited him here to talk about the Canadian market and what his journey was like, right? So let's have a look at the next person before we get into the session. So Julia also has a remarkable career journey. She has experience in the UK space and now has some knowledge and experience about the US space because she's now resident in the US. She comes from a legal background, and I know a lot of us have questions around, can I move from certain backgrounds? And so, as you can see, we have this wealth of knowledge in the house. Again, your questions should be dropped in the chat. Some people had already sent in their questions earlier. And so we'll start with those questions, okay? Do not unmute yourselves. Just drop in your questions in the chat. As much as possible, turn off your videos to avoid distraction. Only the panelists should have their videos on just to help us for coordination. Okay, does that sound good, everyone? Thumbs up, something in the chat, if that sounds good. All right, so don't forget, your questions should be typed in the chat. Don't raise your hand, just type your questions in the chat. All right, thank you so much. So we're pressed for time. Some of our, because today is Sunday, some of our panelists, you know, have a hard stop at a certain time. So we're going to get right to it. So one of the first questions I've received is, can anybody learn to become a business analyst, even without the background or experience? Now, the panelists, if you feel so compelled to answer a question, just jump right in. If not, I'm going to call you. And I know we have talked about this. So the question is, can anybody become a business analyst even without a background or experience?
Yes, Oscar already highlighted that answer in his presentation. And the keynote in that definition he gave is, no matter your job title or your job role in the organization, you can become a business analyst. So simply, that is just the answer. So sometimes when people hear that word business analyst, the picture at the back of their mind is coding, Python, all those technical languages. But the answer is no. Anybody, no matter what you are doing currently, no matter your job title at the moment, you can become a business analyst.
Thank you so much, Onyema. I heard Julia laughing because, yes, because I know, like you said, Onyema, when people hear analyst, you know, they start to think, oh my God, I need to know how to code. I need to know how to use, you know, Excel sheets, and they start to panic. Yeah. And I don't know if have you ever, I'm sure it has happened to a lot of us. Have you ever done something, you don't know what it's called, right? And then maybe some years later, someone else says, can you do X, Y, can you do X, Y, Z? No, I can't. Okay, no. They'll now break it down. Can you do this, and this? Yes, I've done it before. Oh, is that what it's called? It's almost like that. So you hear business analyst, you start to think of this, you know, very big things. And so like Onyema has said, and like Pascal has highlighted, as long as you have done certain type of job or you can do certain type of things, yes, anybody can be a business analyst, right? So Maxwell, let me go. So Maxwell, don't forget to drop in the questions you think we should address in the chat. If you want me to pick the questions myself, I'm happy to, okay?
Go on, I will drop the questions, go on.
Okay, sounds good. So the next question here is, how do I gain entry as well as opportunities that will give me the required skill? So the question here is, how do I enter the space? You know, from my not business analyst space, how do I get into this space?
Okay, I can jump in there, Michelle. So like you've already said, the first question highlights that some of you are probably already doing business analysis work. You just don't have the title. So if you want to get into that space, you're doing the right thing now by attending this webinar. And thereafter, obviously, I'm sure they're going to explain training available. So you have to seek knowledge because you don't want to get the job and then obviously you can't deliver. So you have to start to do some kind of, training. In certain countries, you're required to have the certifications. I'm sure we'll get to that later. But so right training, networking, working with people that also want to have, a BA job, so that you guys can rub minds together and really dig in deep to get that knowledge. So you get training, but then the responsibility is on you to, ask the right questions, practice, throw your CV out there, set yourself targets. I'm going to apply. you get rejected, you don't look back, you don't feel bad, you keep pushing until you get one. That's just the ABC on how to get in there.
Thank you so much, Julia. Okay,
Michelle, yeah, can I add to that? I would say, from my own experience, that you can start from whichever company you are, and no matter the job you're doing at a particular time. From my own experience, and I would say this is my own personal experience, it doesn't really have to be what people, the route people would take, is whichever company you are now, look around to see whether there are business analysts there, and start from there. Start networking with them, start chatting with them, start befriending them, trying to find out what you're doing, try to shadow them, let them know you are interested. Because sometimes, from my own experience, that was how I actually launched into that area. I started by telling people, I really like what you're doing. Can I come shadow you? Or are you looking for vacancies? Or for people, rather, have you got vacancies over there? Can I start? Can I join in? And the reason why I would say we do it that way is because it's actually cheaper, in the sense that everything I learned about being a business analyst, I learned within a company. They trained me, and then they sent me for training. Not only I had first-hand experience from business analysts that have been doing it for many years, and I didn't spend for Nigerians here, I didn't spend a kobo of my money to actually train myself. So if that's what I would say, that's the cheapest option. And the other thing is, don't start from. Everybody start from zero. You start from zero. You don't want to. You're still learning. You don't want to start from 10 when you haven't got anything at all, because everybody will tell you can't be 10. You have to start from zero. So I think it's you have to have a bit of humility at some point as well, to know that you're launching into this, you're learning, and you're like a sponge. You're ready to absorb as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you so
So
much.
also
Okay,
to add to what Olufemi and Julia has mentioned, one of the most important thing that we need to look at is the question we should be asking ourselves is, do I have a transferable skills? When I say transferable skills, I will use a practical example in this case. For some of us who might be in this section and probably at the moment working in the banking industry in Nigeria or wherever we might find ourselves, most of the time we do business analysis, but we don't know that what we're actually doing is a business analysis task. And a typical example is where, for example, the bank needs to do like a system upgrade. Let's say, for example, the bank is using a Finacle, a FlexQ. I want to upgrade from, let's say, from version 10 to version 11. And they now call us to actually test the new version that is coming into play. What you are doing at that particular point in time, testing that new solution, is a business analysis task. So these are some transferable skills that we have, but we don't know that we actually have these skills to be able to now blow it into, make noise about it, tell people that, oh, I've done system testing before, because that is system testing. So when you see system testing, the first thing that also comes to our mind is, oh, technical skills, coding. But no, it's just ability for you to see a new system that the bank or the company is bringing into play. And they now call you to sit down. Okay, check that you can log in. Check that when you log in, you can see some other XYZ profile. So basically, those are some transferable skills you can bring to bear as a business analyst.
Thank you so much, our panelists. Thank you for those very key points. I've taken out some pointers for that, which I'm going to speak to at the end. So another question that came in is, are you saying that business analysis or being a business analyst is recession proof? Are you saying that whether there's a recession or not, I will always have a job as a business analyst? Let's see who is confident in answering that question.
From the UK perspective.
Thank you.
You can never be 100% sure about something, but I've never been out of work, even as a consultant. And Femi's on here. I think she is working, like she's full-time. So I would like to say that you can never be 100%, and you have to keep on adding value to yourself. You know, even as a BA, when you are on a project, you're working as a BA, you still have to have other skills that when they think about the project either finishing or canceling some projects, or, you know, this project is finishing, we're going on to a new project, they would think about moving you onto the new project. So what skills do you need to be recession proof? Your ability to manage your stakeholders, your ability to deliver on that one project you're on, or whether you're doing multiple projects, your ability to, you know, stakeholder management is really important, because even if you're an excellent BA and you didn't work well with your stakeholders, no one is going to move you onto a new project. So, you know, you have a role to play to ensure that you are recession proof. And in speaking about recession proof, as a BA, I would like to say, in quotes, yes. Pascal said at the beginning, because of the recession, a lot of companies are looking at their processes, looking at their systems, looking at who to lay off. So one thing I wrote down when Pascal was speaking was, when you come into an organization as a BA, they start to get worried. Am I going to lose my job? Are they going to improve a process and no longer need me? So you're even a threat in the first place. So, you know, you're helping processes. So don't be worried. I don't think you should be worried about the recession. Learn the skill, become relevant, add value to yourself. And I'm sure that there would be a small project, a medium-sized project, or a large project that you can always work on.
Thank you so much, Julia. Very, very insightful. Some nuggets there for everyone. A question here says, I am over 45 years old. Can I still get into the business analysis space? And how long will it take for me if I put my mind to it? So this person is concerned about their age, and can they get into the space based on their age?
Can I jump in here?
Yes,
I would say in the UK, and I want to believe in the Western world, that they're beginning to actually not discriminate against age anymore. So in fact, you're within your right if you find out that any company has discriminated against you because of your age.
Correct.
You're within your right to actually report them. So that's the first thing. So if the limitation is not within you, I can say it's out there that there is nothing is limiting you from outside. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is, if you're ready to start small, and I mean small, then you can actually. And then I'm saying that small very carefully, because like Pascal and all the other panelists have said previously, that there are a lot of transferable skills out there that I'm sure you have that you didn't know at all. So what I would suggest for that person asking this question is, look for whatever job advert you find out there that says business analysis or business analyst. Compare it with your current CV, or compare it with all of the jobs you've done up until now. And I can assure you that you would have a lot of things to compare to. But maybe the other thing you're now considering is you're trying to shift from one place to another. To be a business analyst, there are some, apart from the stakeholder management thing, there are some core things that I want to see as a recruiter when somebody's coming newly to my team. I want to see that you have the core of business analysis. I want to see that when I ask you a question in an interview, you know what you're talking about. I've had people come for interview that they are blabbing, and you could tell that they are trying to get into the space, but the blabbing was a lot. If you can study or read well, or get people coach you about getting across the line of passing the interview, I think every other thing will be a little bit simpler. And we can't, it depends on the company you are entering. Business analysts do different kinds of jobs all across. And then you can't say this is specifically what they do, because how business analysts in different companies do their thing is different from the other thing. But I can assure you that you can get through if you have the mind for it.
Thank you so much, Femi. Onyema wants to add on.
Yeah, also to add to what Olufemi is just mentioned, there is no recruiter, especially in UK or in this part of the world, in North America, that will ask you, how would I?
Onyema, can you adjust your audio? We can't hear you quite well.
Nobody will ask you, how old are you? What is your age in this part of the world? Nobody, no recruiter, during even the interview session, nobody will ask you that question. So that is not a limitation. Age is not a limitation. Yes, and where we're coming from in Nigeria, some employers might ask, but now we also need to open our world outside Nigeria. Nigeria is not just Nigeria shouldn't just be a limitation. That is why currently, as a business analyst, which unfortunately Pascal did not mention in his presentation, one of the perks of being a business analyst is that you have the chances to be working 100% remotely. Worst case scenario, hybrid options. So those are the benefits it gives you. So now let's take Nigeria out of it. Let's open ourselves to the world. Where in this world do they need my skills? Where in this world can I transfer the existing skills I already have as a business now to move to transit to a business analyst? I think that should be the question we should be asking ourselves.
Thank you so much, Onyema. Julia, when you're about to leave, please let me know, because I want to get your final
yes, I was just about to say that I'll drop off in about 5 minutes. So
5 minutes. Okay, yeah. So we have 5 minutes from you, but before you leave, I will ask for your final, like, that's what okay. You want to final words. So I have one question here that says, what is the possibility of getting a remote job from West Africa? So the person lives in West Africa, but is trying to get remote jobs in Canada, UK, or US. What is the possibility? Onyema has mentioned remote job, but the person is asking, like, is this, how easy is this?
Yeah. So when Onyema was speaking, I was thinking about that, because I know that if you're in West Africa, for example, and you want to work in the US or UK or Canada, they would still require your work permit, right? Now, I'm aware of some friends in Canada that lived in Nigeria and were doing US jobs or Canadian jobs. So if we could maybe take the question offline and maybe get some, accurate responses. But I think that some companies might sponsor those sorts of, individuals, depending on your skill set. I've heard people in the UK say, I'm moving to America, I've gotten a company to sponsor me. I'm not sure it's very simple, but anything is possible. So it's also about you putting yourself out there, connecting on LinkedIn. Some of the jobs, for example, in the UK, we use JobServe, and some of the jobs would say that the visas would be considered, or they would be able to do the visa for you. But some jobs are very specific and would tell you that, if you don't have the right to work, then you shouldn't be applying. So, and then, for example, in the UK, they have a website or a list of like companies that can sponsor. So if that's something you're interested in, you can always, research that and start by checking who are these companies that would potentially sponsor me. And then you can approach them or look for jobs in those companies. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Julie. I think that was a very honest answer, because I know a lot of people are getting, I don't want to use the word scammed, but getting deceived into you can work anywhere, yes. And then they spend a lot of money trying to get into spaces. So thank you. So I have this interesting question. It says, who should not be a business analyst? And maybe Olufemi, yes, I want you to answer this question. Who should not be a business analyst?
Okay, I would say if you're not a people person, don't bother. That's the honest truth. Don't bother. Because the thing is, you will find a lot of, it's a job that talks to a lot of people. And most of the time, you're managing conflict. You're managing humans. And humans are one of the most complex relationships to manage. That's one. So your people, your stakeholders must know that you're somebody they can trust. Yeah. You have integrity, you are approachable, and you're honest. I want you to tell me, the stakeholders want you to tell me if you're not going to deliver to time. Just tell me. I want to know. I don't want you telling me, it's going to be ready next week, and I come next week and say, it's moved again to next week. Mm-hmm. You're going to lose their trust. But if it's not happening, you just want to tell them. You're very transparent. So like I said, if you're not a people person, don't bother. If things get to you a lot and you can't take some insult, or it's just like customer service job sometimes, don't bother. But if to be honest, every other thing you can learn. But personality-wise, that one, it's you. So that's how we say, be a great person. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And it's good for people to know where their strengths lie and where it doesn't lie. So don't force it. Don't force it. Okay. Thank you. That's a very good response, Olufemi. And this question is to Julia. It says, how do I fight imposter syndrome? Because I have learned some BA skills, but I don't feel confident applying for jobs.
Okay. So, you're not, like Pascal said at the beginning, and I think everyone else has said, Femi also said it, if you're already in a job, you can highlight that I'm really interested in becoming a business analyst. Can I be seconded onto a project? You know, you can talk to maybe a project manager that you know. You're not good. So when you've done all that, right, you can start to because when you're doing an interview, I think it was Femi who said during an interview, there's certain things they're looking out for. So you don't have to come and say, I've been a BA for 10 years. You have to say, in my role as this, these are the things that I did, you know, and these are like BA skills. So you're not lying, but you're being, you're saying what you learned. Okay, I worked, let me say you did customer service. And you can say I handled conflicts. I was able to manage the banking customers. I was able to respond to queries. And on that project, we tested a functionality about maybe a mobile phone banking app. And I was part of the team. So you see, you're not lying. These are the things you did. However, you did them while you had that title as a customer service, but you were probably seconded onto maybe a project. So and there are so many people out there that would just say BA, BA, BA everywhere. But when you go out for that interview, so Femi, I'm going to go back to what Femi said. It's easier to transition in a company that you're already working with. So, you know, you can look out for BA roles in that company. And you probably will start as a very junior BA, but it's easier because you can say, I've heard about business analysis. I've gone for training, and that's why I want to become a BA. But if you leave or quit your job and you're going out there to sell yourself as a BA, then you have to be ready, go do the full training, get your certifications, and then start networking. So I think, and you can't but apply. That's the truth. Don't be afraid. That's what I would say. When I did my training in 2013, I think I told you, Michelle, that the guy just said you have to apply, apply, apply. That's the only way the fear would leave. And then you would begin to get positive responses. So
thank you, Julia. And the thing about applying is you apply, you mess up sometimes, you don't say the right things, then you know what not to do for the next one. So you're learning as you're failing. So, all right.
Very true.
Can I chip in quickly? To be honest with you, imposter syndrome affects everybody. So it's not a matter of you just trying to launch into the BA world and you have imposter syndrome. I can assure you that even when you become a lead BA, there are some things you get into and you think, Femi, they're going to catch you out now, even though I've been doing this job for the last 15 years. So if it's any comfort to you, everybody feels like that sometimes. But like Julia said, you just have to step out. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So Julia, I don't know if you're leaving now, but I need your final. I don't want you to just leave on us without your final
response. Thank you
so
much, Michelle.
Yeah. So give us your final words to the team. There's no question.
I guess, my final comment would be, well done for joining the webinar. You know, you signed up, you didn't forget. That means it's something you're thinking about and considering. Take everything you can take from here. Utilize, depending on where you live, utilize LinkedIn. You can ask about the websites that you can start looking at the jobs, just to have an idea of, you know, what they ask for. Learn. Read the BA guide. There's a business analyst textbook on Amazon. Try to get into a BA role where you're working, or, you know, just refer yourself. Say, I want to do it for free. I know it's not that easy as it sounds, but if you already have a job, you can ask to kind of be seconded into a project. What else? Trust yourself, trust the ability. What's the other thing? Yeah, and just enjoy it. It's very interesting. You'll be placed on different projects. You work with different people. You learn a lot, and it pays well. So it's worth doing. It's worth doing. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Julia.
Thank you so much,
it's been a pleasure having you. We had you for a short time, but it's a big pleasure having you. I'm not saying you should go if you don't have to go.
No, I have to. I have to.
All right.
Everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.
Take care.
Okay. Bye, Julia. Yeah. So Femi, this question is for you. And this question says, should I start by getting a certification first, or should I start by building my skill first?
It depends depends really. It depends. If you're trying to get into a BA role within your own company, I would say get the skills first. You don't need certification at that point. But if you're trying to launch out, I would say the only thing you need to, if you're in the UK, I would say the only thing you need to get is foundation, the BCS foundation in business analysis. Just get that one if you want to launch out. That would just be a proof. It would be a proof to employers that, you know what, I've done something. I've got, you can back, I've got the skills, but I even have one qualification to do to back you up. Don't bother to do. Personally, I think you shouldn't bother to do the international diploma in business analysis if you haven't got a job yet. Just do that one, and then start looking for job. And then, so in terms of skills, just you have it already. Just look for other things you're doing in your current job to get the BA skills in your current job, and then use it as a proof to go outside. But I'm still of the personal opinion that look for a BA job within your organization.
Thank you so much.
And also, when you look at most of the job vacancies for a BA role, the certificate is not, most of the job adverts, certificate is not always mentioned. What they actually want is, can you play the role that we expect, what we need? Do you have that capacity? And looking at, I stumbled upon the curriculum for hybrid for business analysis training. And actually looking at that curriculum that they have is actually something, if you understand those curriculum from end to end, yes, you should be able to perform a business analysis role. So certificate should be secondary in this case, not the most important thing. So just like every one of us have mentioned, as long as you have that transferable skills, you have interaction skills, you have communication skills, you have business analytical skills, you have problem solving skills, you can bring all these skills into bear and you perform and excel in your role as a business analyst.
Thank you so much, Onyema. And I have a question for you directed at you. And someone said, you referenced that you were in you referenced banking in Nigeria. Can you mention some transferable skills for someone who was in sales or who did relationship management? Yeah,
somebody that is in sales, one time in your career, you'll have done market research. There is no way. You'll have done competitor research. Competitor research in this case is, for example, you are with Zenith Bank. What is GTB doing that is so special that our own bank is not doing? How is FCMB getting these sales and we are not getting that sales? That particular exercise you are doing at that point in time is a business analysis scope. So those are the skills you can actually bring into bear. And also sometimes your team lead will request you to give an update, provide an update on a particular client. Also, that is a transferable skills. You are giving an update on a solution. You are doing something that is under strategy analysis. You are doing a tactical analysis, trying to understand your clients, trying to understand your business, trying to understand that sales that did not fall through, that sales that fall through. So you preparing that report, send it to your team lead. That's the business analysis skills you are actually doing at that particular point.
Thank you so much, Onyema. I hope the person who asked this question was taking notes. So I guess we've addressed this before, but I will ask the question again in case some people need more clarity. How much of data analytics do I need to become a BA? So, Olufemi, let's see.
Like I said earlier, that it depends on the company you're working at, really, or you're working with. Because and the BA role is varied across, in fact, it's varied across the continent as well. The way BA role is done in UK is quite different from Canada and a little bit different in US. So what I would say is, I would say you don't need it. Personally, if you're not a data analyst or you don't want to be a data analyst, I don't think you need it. But you must know how to use Excel minimally, as in you must be good at Excel, because you never can tell what project they're going to put you on. And you must, and to be honest with you, whatever BA role you are, Google is your friend. The BA textbook is your friend. I still carry, even though I've been in the BA for the last how many years? 11 years. I still got a book I carry everywhere I go to. Is my BA textbook. No matter the interview I go with, I still go there. But data analysis, I would say I would say no, I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay. Onyema, do you want to add to that?
Yes, I'm sure sometimes when we hear data analysis at times, our mindset will go to Power BI, Tableau. Those are where our mindset will go. But just like Olufemi has mentioned, at least basic knowledge of Excel will go a long way as part of the transferable skills you are bringing into a business analyst. For example, they are telling you to come up with, let's say, the main media mode of every customer that you have, the age distribution of the customers that you have. A basic Excel knowledge will assist you in doing that. So data analysis as a skill for a business analyst, let us, at least for now, limit it to the common Excel. While we're in the profession, we can now start building on it, improving on it, but not just for now going to learn Power BI or going to learn Tableau. Shouldn't be the focus.
Thank you so much, Onyema and Olufemi. Those are very good responses. And like I've said to people sometimes, when you get on the job, as you get into the, gain expertise, gain knowledge, become proficient, as the need arises, you will pick on some extra skills. So if you need to do, maybe you start from basic Excel. If the job requires a little bit of advancement, you would learn it. You would find a way to adapt. So let that not be the focus. Thank you so much. So one question here says, and anybody can answer it, did any of you use a mentor or a coach while transitioning into the role as a BA?
Okay, I can jump in this one. Yes, I did. I had a mentor, but that was in the company as well. I didn't have any training outside of my company. And like I said previously, that's my own experience. Not to say that having mentor outside of your company or what you do is you shouldn't. You should if that's what you have. But in my own case, I had a mentor within the company I was at the time, and she literally took my hand everywhere. She taught me what to do, how to go about things, and showed me the ropes, even to the fact that she was helping me with interviews and all of that. I would say definitely you need one. But if you don't have, you make use of what you have at the same time.
In my own case, also, yes, I have a mentor, which is similar to the kind of program that Hybrid is also offering. I go through a training, 1 month training, and after then I started doing reading some books on my own, the business analysis book, listening to some YouTube videos. That is how I was able to build myself in that particular domain.
Thank you, Onyema. And the next question, because you mentioned hybrid, the next question says, if I do the hybrid business analysis course, can I start applying for jobs? And so I will answer that question. Like somebody mentioned before, one of the panelists mentioned, the hybrid course gives you that basic knowledge you need to be confident to start applying your job. So it is applying for jobs. As long as you have those transferable skills that you can say, yes, I have done X, Y, Z. In your company, there are problems you can solve. If you're in the hybrid program and there are things that are being taught in the program that you can apply to your current job or another problem in your company, by all means do so. And then nothing stops you from applying for any BA role. But I want to pick from what Olufemi said. She said, don't be afraid to start small. So don't finish a hybrid course and start looking for, senior or manager, business, and you know what I mean, right? So don't start small, start from the basic. If not, you will set yourself up to fail because it will be very quick. They will quickly know that, you don't quite know what you're doing. So don't be afraid to start small. But yes, a hybrid course can give you the confidence to be able to apply for a job. So one question I have here is, can you mention some of the core soft skills required to be profound as a business analyst? So this person is asking about soft skills. What soft skills do I need to set myself apart as a good business analyst?
Can I jump in for this one? I will say you must be a very good, your communication skills must be top notch. It must be really good. Whether written or spoken, you cannot underestimate the power of communication as a business analyst. That's one thing. Your communication skills, your attention to details, and attention to details is the second one. Personally, if you tell me you're a BA and I see typos on your CV, oh my God, it puts me off straight away. Because as a BA, you should be able to pass your document to you. There's something we call peer review. You should be able to send your document to as many people as possible, and they must have been able to pick all of your typos from your CV, and it must come out 100%. So those are the kind of, so if I see typos, the first thing I ask myself is, this person is too proud to pass their CV to people to even check for them, or they haven't got friends. So attention to details must be top. I think those are the two core ones. Then your personal skills, how you respond to people, how you deal with people. You must be a people person. That's a key thing. Those are the three key things for me. All the other ones you can learn. You can come to IB. IB can teach you as much as they can, but communication skills has to be you. Attention to details has to be you, and a few other things as well.
Thank you so much. Now, you mentioned communication skills, people skills, attention to details. If you weren't listening, she said communication, people, and attention to detail. And I think that is why hybrid is also focused on teamwork. And so in the teamwork you do at hybrid, your team members are going to review you to know whether you were a good communicator, what was your attention to detail like, and were you a good person to work with. So those are kind of the things hybrid assesses for, apart from the technical skills and knowledge of the course. So thank you for that, Olufemi. So hi, Maxwell, please don't forget to let me know when we're pressed for time, okay? And then I'll start rounding off. But
Sure.
I have a few questions here. Okay. So someone asked this funny question, and I'll ask to any of you that wants to respond. Was your transitioning to a BA out of necessity, or was it out of interest?
Okay, let me answer that question. For me,
Okay.
it was act of necessity, not interest, as it were. Reason being that when I came into the Canada market, back home, I was an ACA. If I've even gotten my FCA eventually. So when I go into the Canada market, I was to register with the CPA, which is the local accounting body here in Canada. And they told me, despite the fact that I was coming with my ACA, I was told that I have to do another 3 years program. You can imagine that. With my experiences in banking, at the level at which I've gotten to, I need to go back and not do another course for 3 years for me to become a CPA. So the best option for me was to transit into business analysis, and that is how my journey started.
And then follow up. Okay, sorry, go on, Femi.
Yeah, I was going to say mine was out of interest, and it was out of interest and more or less out of necessity as well. But I would say more of interest, because I was in a company doing something else, and I thought, oh, actually, I like what they're doing at the other side in the business analysis practice. And I felt, you know what, I'm a graduate. I've got all of these other skills that I'm not using at my present job at the time. So I thought I could go over so that I can maximize my skills. And yeah, that was the reason why I moved.
Thank you. So one person out of necessity, one person out of interest. So great. Oh yeah, someone asked a follow-up question for you. Are you liking it now, or do you miss where you were before?
I'm enjoying it. And if you ask me, I wish I have done it back. If I want to do it all over again, I would do it. Because business analysis actually allowed me to come up with creative ideas, especially in my workplace. I'm not stereotyped when it comes to what I do as an accountant, just posting, reviewing bookkeeping, reviewing financial statements. No, I'm not stereotyped, but rather what I'm doing now, I'm more dynamic. I come up with initiative, I come up with recommendations, I also come up with solutions, how we can improve processes, how we can change things. These things, actually, it is interesting for me, and I'm actually enjoying it.
Thank you so much, Onyema. So we're pressed for time. I have a lot more questions, and I want to make sure somebody gets their full scholarship today. So I'm not going to ask any more questions. I'm just going to ask our panelists for their final word. So Olufemi, I'll start with you.
My final word will be yes. You can do it if you want to do it. Like I said, whichever company you're at the moment, look for their business analyst team. Join the place. You can shadow them. The other thing is Hybrid are offering a really good BA, what do you call it? It's a lecture, your course as well. Join them. They will be able to tutor you. You need a lot of people around you to show you around, to show you the ropes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Olufemi. You need people around you and join Hybrid. Okay, Onyema, over to you.
Yeah, for me, Hybrid is a good opportunity for especially those people that are looking at relocating out of Nigeria. And what some people are selling to you is that you have a Walmart job that will pay you $20, or you have one other odd job that you need to do that will pay you $30 for you to start up. No. Take the opportunity that Hybrid is offering, and you will see that by the time you start looking for a job, as long as you're still in Nigeria or you have moved to this place, you actually see that that minimum salary Pascal mentioned earlier is something you can get and it's achievable.
Thank you so much, Onyema. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time and for staying put. I'm sure, and I don't know, just give me by show of hands, tell me something that has stood out for you so far. Type in the one thing that stood out for you. So use the chat now. The chat is available to you. Let the panelists know what you are taking out of this session. So type in the chat now. Let's just know if this has been impactful in some ways to you. So the chat is open now. Just let us know what, if we answered your questions. If there were some unanswered questions, we still have, like I said, we still have a lot of questions. We're sorry we couldn't get to everything, but I'm sure we did our best. Thank you. It says, learn, open up to new knowledge, be determined. Yes. No people skills, no business analysis. I like that summary. I like that summary. No people skills, no business analysis. That's like something you should hang on your, looks like something you should hang on your wall or something. Realign with your transferable skills. Be a people person. Be impactful. Awesome. I'm encouraged because I already have the build soft skills that is required. Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you again, everyone. It's really been a pleasure being your host. I see Maxwell is here, subtly telling me to keep quiet. So Maxwell, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mitchell. Thank you, Onyema. Thank you, Olufemi. And thank you, Julia, in absentia. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't you just appreciate, put an emoji, say something nice about what our panelists. I mean, I see people summarizing the whole webinar, Babalanke with the, cash phrase, no people skill, no business analysis. Yes, thank you. Just show your appreciation in the chat. Thank you so much, Mitchell, for being a great host during this panel session, driving the questions and engaging the audience and the panelists alike. So we're going to move, well, speed lane. Want to be sure that we let everyone have the remainder of their weekend. So I'm going to invite Pascal once again. Yes, people ask questions, how do I get the skills? How do I veer into business analysis? And one of the things that stood out is, get some trainings if you can, people solving. And here we want to provide a solution that we think will help you address those concerns. I'm going to hand over to Pascal to run you through what we think might give you that stepping stone, to becoming a business analyst. And like Joel said, those minimum wages, he called $81,000 minimum wage. Wow. Don't you want to be a business analyst for that kind of minimum wage? So I'm going to let him do justice to that. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him your audience. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Maxwell. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you, Femi, Onyema, and Julia, who has just left. I was taking notes while all of you were talking. So I think that was a very interesting conversation. And then I think, the audience, you had some very great questions. So the questions, I was thinking about them from my end. I'm like, I've not thought about that. So thank you so much for throwing the questions. We'll have another session for a few questions. I know some of you had asked questions that could not be answered by the panel. So I'll try and respond to those questions at the end of this session. So I will spend some time to talk about who we are, in case you're wondering who put this together, where is all of this coming from, why would someone, dedicate such dense, concentrated, valuable information with this powerful list of panelists for free. So I'll tell you who we are in a second, and then I'll tell you what we've done over time and why we landed where we are today. Okay, so we are called Hybrid, and we are a Canadian technology company, and our focus has been to train and empower mid-career professionals who are trying to learn skills that will position them for success in the future, position you to explore new markets, and like any opportunity that your mind craves for as far as technology is concerned, we would be that place that will train you and upskill you for that. So we've done this not just in starting. We've trained over 1,000 professionals to date, and the people we bring to run our programs have been people that practice in technology, like core practitioners, people like some of the panelists you saw today are within our instructors, people who actually teach our courses, right? So they come from top tech companies like MasterCard, PwC, Salesforce, MTN, TELUS, like a lot of other companies. That's where we get our instructors from. And the reason why we bring in this kind of people is so that they can teach you based on what they do day to day at work, so that there is no disconnect between what you learn in the program and then what you see in the real world. So you will be learning exactly what potential employers will be asking you about. So that's how we designed the program. It is very hands-on. We don't have the time for excessive theory and frameworks. We'll teach you the theory, and then we'll get you to, we'll force you to get your hands dirty before you finish the program. And historically, most of our students who have finished on the program, their only complaint has been that it can be very stressful. So we can stress your life. They will push you in a place where you will get out of your comfort zone to learn business analysis and a few other courses by force. So when you sign up with us, we will make your life stressful for the few months, but once you're done, you will feel very comfortable to go and apply for jobs. Okay. And what else do I want to share on this? So we are 100% virtual. We do not, okay, someone said they can't hear me clearly. Is it just the person? Can any other person hear me well? If you can hear me
clear, I think it's Honesty's
okay.
internet.
Okay. Thank you. So honestly, please check your internet. It might just be from your end. So our programs are 100% virtual. We don't have an office in Cape Town, Johannesburg, Lagos, Accra. We don't. We operate 100% virtually. And the reason is because our instructors come from so many parts of the world. We have instructors from the UK, US, Canada, and some in Africa as well. So we don't have a local station where you come in with your laptop. No, everything is virtual. That is the future of work and hybrid work as well. Okay, so these are some of the courses we offer. We offer business analysis, data analytics, Python programming, UX design. There are a few other courses that were not mentioned here, and I don't know why I left them out. So we offer all these courses and then a few others that were not mentioned. Okay, so for those of you that are interested in taking the business analysis course and training, we have 2 programs starting this January. There is the business analysis standard course. So I'll tell you what the differences are between the 2 of them. So there is a business analysis standard course, and then there is a business analysis masterclass. So I'll tell you the difference. The standard course starts in 7 days, 7 or 6 days, next week, Saturday. And then the masterclass starts just 1 week after that. Okay, so if you're interested, enroll for the one that suits your profile and your budget. So I will share with you what the differences between the both of them are. So the masterclass will give you, you would work on at least 5 different projects. We have some students taking the masterclass as we speak from different countries, and they're having a good time. Their only complaint, like I said, is that the program is stressful and quite demanding. So it is for everyone. You don't need to have business analysis experience to take the course. So you can come from any background to take the masterclass. The only difference between, the only thing about the masterclass is, so you will do 5 projects at least. It is a 12 weeks intensive program. And then you work on 3 group projects. So you will do more than 5 projects, but you have about 3 different groups you'll be working with. Okay, and then you need like a work experience of above 5 years. If you want to take the course and you think you can be an exception, let us know. We can review your work experience, like the things you've done in the past, and see if you have some transferable skills that could be in the masterclass, right? You will also learn how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, and then you will use tools like Miro, Jira, Confluence, PowerPoint, and Excel, right? So you will get resume guide, HR partner support, mock interview preparation before you go and apply for jobs, and then you also get mentoring on that, right? The price for the masterclass is $690. I know it's cheap, but we understand that. Don't worry, we are getting there. We'll make the prices more expensive in the future. Okay, for the standard program, you will do one project. It's for 8 weeks. You will do one group project. So you work with one group on a major capstone project, and then your work experience should be at least 1 year. If you are fresh from university, you will not be eligible for any of our courses as far as the masterclass is concerned and the standard program, except if you have something exceptional to share. We can have that conversation and see if you will be in the standard program. You will learn about LinkedIn optimization as well for the standard program. And then you will learn how to use the Miro board, PowerPoint, and Excel, right? Resume guide, we don't have that for the standard program. HR partner support, you don't have that. Mock interview, you don't have that. Mentoring does not exist for the standard program. And the price is about $210. We have a scholarship for the standard class running. If you qualify, you can get 50% discount on the standard program. For the masterclass, there is no scholarship, right? The reason why the masterclass is the way it is it's an exclusive program if you successfully get in, and it is designed like it is best suited for people who want to work as business analysts in the UK, in Canada, and the US, right? The reason why that difference exists is this program will teach you, so the HR support you get from the program will teach you interview techniques, what your resume should look like all those tips and tricks, and then how to negotiate salary in Canada, US, and the UK. So that's what the masterclass is focused on doing, that the standard program does not do. So the standard program is a great program as well. You will learn business analysis. You will practice it during the program. The only difference is you will not get this other HR support, and then it's a shorter program, and then you don't use as much tools as you do in the masterclass. So if you're interested in any of the programs, this is what you need to do. So grab a phone, take a screenshot of the 2 barcodes. It will take you to any of the courses or the pages that we have on our website, and then you can